Okay. Hi, welcome to Week 12. Today the Vikings played host to the Green Bay Slackers, a game in which the Packers were heavily favored to win for obvious reasons. They were on a roll. They scored 50-plus points in back-to-back games, so this was like one of the best offenses against one of the worst offenses in the league. The end result of the game turned out to be 24-21 in favor of the Packers. And if I told you that was going to be the score, you'd probably think, oh, that's too good for the Vikings. They're going to get killed. Didn't happen. So, yeah, I'm actually not that angry. I mean, the Vikes played a lot better than expected, especially on the defensive side. Some people call this a moral victory, but, to the players, there's no moral victory. They just want a victory. And the reason the Packers weren't able to get up to 50 points this time around, because, well, they were playing a team who knew them pretty well. And so when that happens, and you get caught red-handed committing penalties, finally, it's going to be a little more tougher to win now, isn't it? And it was tough for them to try and win this one. In fact, the Vikings could have, should have, would have, came close to actually pulling this one off. But, yeah, look, I don't even want to talk about how they came up short. But, like I said earlier, the defense, they played really well. They stepped it up. I mean, last week I thought they were kind of slacking a little bit against the Bears. I mean, they were kind of missing some tackles, but no, our secondary did a great job. They kind of held the receivers in check for most of the time. I mean, here's the thing. Bridgewater threw for a season high 2 touchdowns, where Aaron Rodgers was held to 2 touchdowns today. Aaron Rodgers threw for 209 yards, and which, believe it or not, is a lot less than what people were expecting. Teddy Bridgewater threw for 210 yards. 1 yard more than Airhead whatever. But I think it should have been more yards for him, because there were opportunities that should have been seized. Okay, you're not always going to get those kind of opportunities. Usually it was either like a bad throw, or a throw that should have been made, or a catch that should have been made. And I think most of the time it was a throw that should have been made. He kind of would overthrow his receivers early on in the game, but he never really got flustered or frustrated. He kind of kept his cool, which is what he does. And he did a lot better as time went on. And I just wish, he could be accurate from the get-go. And, you've already discussed, our O-line is just doesn't help him out that much. But, I didn't notice too many, bad things coming from our O-line today. I ripped on him pretty much good this year, because I kind of deserve it. But, I think the only noticeable thing was like 3 penalties for Khalil, but I don't know. Enough said for that part. However, Bridgewater did throw, with his 2 touchdowns, he did throw 1 interception, and it was a fugly one. And definitely a throw I think he wishes he had back. And speaking of throws that you wish they would have back, Harrison Smith, Aaron Rodgers was lucky he didn't get picked off by Smith. He almost had that, and who knows, that maybe could have took a momentum swing there. But, we moved on, and like I said, Bridgewater had 2 nice touchdown passes. Both of which were to former Packers. One, Charlie Johnson, which was, oh wow, it was a thing of beauty. It looked easy. He was just there. It was perfect. Then that one to Greg Jennings late in the game, and then we go for a 2-point conversion, and it looked like the same play, only it was to Charlie Johnson. So I think those guys are kind of been his main targets. I mean, Jennings, I think he can rely on him to make nice catches, even if the throws aren't exactly on target. I mean, oh, and Rudolph played much better this week than he did last week. Last week he didn't even touch the ball. This week he touches it in the very start, and you can tell he wasn't exactly 100%, but still made some plays. After the Vikings put the game even closer after that successful 2-point conversion, and we're down by 3, and now there's like almost 4 minutes left, and we kick it off to the Packers, and they just simply ran the clock out. Which, I know, Lacey, he had another pretty good game. He had a good game, and I do like what I'm seeing out of our front four for the most part, but I do think they could be a little more stout. Because I don't think Lacey would have been able to do that against the Williams wrecking crew. Any hooser, I think today the Vikings showed that they took some steps into the right direction, and they showed that they were definitely better than they were the first time they played the Packers. They played better than most people expected, and not to mention we've seemed to have some good luck skill with going for it on 4th down. We were successful in fact, we would go for it on 4th down twice in one drive, and we were successful both times, and it led to that Bridgewater to Johnson touchdown, our first touchdown. And so far, we've always been successful this year with a 2-point conversion, so that's always nice. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning, our running game. Today, Matt Asiata was out today, so Matt McKinnon was our guy today for the most part. But the other guy, Joe Banyard, I liked what I saw out of him today. I think we could use him some more. He definitely was fighting for that extra effort. I think he averaged over 5 yards a carry of the few carries he had. I think he made the most of what was given for him. So anyway, yeah, I would have liked for us to win that game. Obviously, I mean, I always want us to win. I always expect us to try and pull it out and win. But this might be the least angry I've ever been over the Vikings losing to the Packers. But next week, we play host to the Carolina Panthers. And, I don't have much to say about that right now, but as always, I expect us to step it up. Now, I'm going to sign out and say, go Vikings. God, I need a girlfriend.